So the fear of falling has always been an issue for me with sport climbing. I've always felt hamstrung by my anxiety when lead climbing, when I go above my last clip. And as a result, I've always felt like I can't actually lead as hard as I can climb. And it's been frustrating. So I've tried a bunch of things to try and combat this. I've tried meditation, I've tried cutting out caffeine, I've tried fall practice, I've tried top roping the route to the point where I've got it so dialed that I absolutely won't fall. And although I have been making progress, it's been an incredibly slow process of getting better at this. However, recently, in the last couple of months, I feel like I've had a mini breakthrough with this. I feel like I've finally got something. I went from top roping routes for months and making sure I've got it absolutely dialed, ensuring no falls, to leading on the first day, really emptying the tank, taking falls, and really giving it everything I can on a route on the lead. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the changes I've made recently in my climbing that I feel have kind of revolutionized how I approach lead climbing. Today we're at the Edinburgh International Climbing Arena. I think this is one of the biggest gyms in Europe, and I think it's the only gym in the UK that's equipped for all three of the Olympic disciplines. So it's got the Olympic bouldering wall, it's got the speed wall, and it's got these huge overhanging articulated lead walls. So it's got everything you need. Today I think I'm going to try one of the 7As on the lead wall that I've had my eye on. I've not tried it yet. I probably am going to fall on this route. It's very unlikely that I'd flash this. In fact, I probably won't even go for the flash. Previously, attacking a route of this difficulty from the ground up, from the lead, would have been a source of huge anxiety for me. And although it's still scary, I feel a lot better about it now. So let's go and have a look at the route. No matter how good I feel about leading it, I always feel about flaking a rope. I hate this part of sport climbing. If only there was a discipline of climbing that doesn't involve a rope. The walls here are so big that you need a 60-metre rope to lead indoors. That's insane. Recently, actually, on this channel, we actually promoted Hazel Finlay's altitude course, Fear of Falling, which obviously I watched, and yeah, it's very good. One of the things that she said that really resonated with me is the concept of taking responsibility for your own climbing, taking control of the journey that you want to go on. And that makes sense. So like, if I've got a problem with falling on lead, it's not going to just go away. Like, I tried to just expose myself to more and more mileage, and it doesn't really fix the problem. I needed to actually take responsibility for it and do something about it. And that's when, well, I feel things have really started changing for me, when I actually started doing something about it. I tried to start thinking about, what am I actually worried about? Like, what is it that causes the anxiety? And the most obvious thing to be worried about is hitting the ground or hitting your B-layer. It's actually hitting the B-layer that gives me the most anxiety, because normally my B-layer is my lovely wife, and I don't want to squash her. And then I realised there's just absolutely no need for that to be a risk, or to be a considerable risk. Just clipping the third bolt on a big route like this, where there's probably like, I don't know, 15 clips or something, just clipping the third clip means that you're not going to deck out by missing the first bolt, or by missing the second bolt and just falling. And you're not going to hit your B-layer, because by the time you get to the fourth bolt, you're higher up, and it's just way less likely that some sort of catastrophe is going to happen like this. Yes, it does take away from like the pure send. You're not leading it purely from the ground. But I realised I just don't care. What I really care about is, number one, is going home in one piece, and getting the send is secondary. So just clip sticking the second or the third bolt, or if you're indoors, just climbing up an easier climb and just clipping the third bolt, I think is totally fine. There is no reason to be decking out on sport climbs or hitting your B-layer on sport climbs. We're not trad climbing, we're sport climbing. It's supposed to be safe. I would normally just climb up like a 4 or a 5 that's next to the route I want to do indoors and just clip the bolt. But on this route, there is no easier route. So I am actually going to have to go from the ground. But like, this is a 7A, but you can see that the first moves like are really easy. Like, I can even do them in my trainers. So This one isn't a concern, but normally I would clip the third one. This episode is sponsored by Frictitious Climbing with their doorway mount and their hangboard system. So right now I have their Megalith, which is the biggest hangboard they have. It's the widest one, so it has a full length jug and a bunch of edges, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, 40, and these raised bits in the 40, which is used for deloading your middle two fingers and putting more load onto your index and pinky fingers. So I got Frictitious to mount the board onto the doorway mount for me. Assembling the doorway mount is a piece of cake. It comes with some instructions, you scan that QR code, but I won't be needing that. All you need is a screwdriver. So once assembled, this doorway mount can be mounted and then removed in like 30 seconds. It's really, really quick. What I like about the Megalith is the width of the jug at the top. You can really get some wide grip pull-ups, which I love for warming up. So Frictitious are offering 20% off any hangboard with a doorway mount. You don't need any drill and you don't need any promo code. Just add it to your basket and it'll remove it automatically. Thank you very much Frictitious for sponsoring the channel. Let's get back to the video. One of the things that I've stopped doing or tried to stop doing that has made a huge difference is just bailing on the top rope. Normally, if I see a climb like this, like a 7A or something that's at my limit, I would wander around the gym and subtly try to find someone who will put on the top rope for me so I can try it out first. But I try to stop doing that. I find that just top roping routes is not helpful. For some reason, when I top rope a route, I always just think, oh, okay, I did it, but I would never be able to do that on lead. It's like a block in my head where I think it will be so much harder on lead. So if it was even slightly hard on top rope, I just think it would be impossible to actually lead it. And that is not true. I think top roping a route when you're projecting obviously sometimes is necessary, but if you can, avoid relying on it too much. That's what I've found. Try to just get on the lead as soon as you can, if not straight away. So the next thing I started doing on hard routes was just bailing on the onsite, just bailing on the flash. Like try and putting that pressure on yourself to flash it when you're also scared of falling just is too much. So when it's like at the limit, I decided to just start going clip to clip, and I cannot believe how much that calms my nerves. Just chilling on the bolt for a second allows your nerves to just calm down a wee bit and you can get to the next bolt. I think on-sighting is a really useful skill, one that I probably don't exercise enough. So I do try to on-sight the easier stuff, but when it's like actually at the limit, like 7A, I think that just bailing on the on-sight, bailing on the flash and just going from clip to clip just makes it so much easier to deal with. There's 2 clips in, so I'm pretty confident I'm not going to hit my bailer and won't hit the ground. So I can sort of start the climb with a wee bit of confidence. So let's see if we can get to the 3rd clip without my pants. Oh, it's steep. Steeper than I would have liked. It's a big move. Cool. So that was a big move, a wee bit scary. You can take there, James. So that was a big move and a wee bit scary. So, you know, rather than get overwhelmed with the stress and try to make the 4th clip, you can just take and just slowly increase your exposure to time on lead without getting freaked out. And I can also just like pull around on the rope and have a look at what I'm going for. Right, let's see if I can get that fourth clip in. So, that was here. Okay, James.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a pretty big move. This is a big move as well. I need to match here. Okay, and now I'm pretty tired, so I'll just get James to take. So that's sixth clip. On you go, James, take. So now, rather than being overwhelmed with the difficulty of the climb, because it is hard, I've got this like time to relax in between, but I'm also not just top roping it. So I just found it was like a nice happy medium. Just one more clip. Right. And I'm pretty certain I'm going to fall here. I'm off. Oh, I have no idea what to do here. Okay, James, I'm off. Okay, that's hard. That's good. I just don't see how I'm supposed to make that move. Well, I think it's that. Okay, it's that. Right. Pressing. Alright, time for something a wee bit more controversial. So I found that traditional fall practice, climbing up a couple of clips above your last point of protection and just dropping, has not been helpful for me at all. I found actually the opposite. I feel like it's put me backwards whenever I've done that. What I have found helpful is much more natural falling, as in just simply falling off because it's too hard. Or like going for a move half-heartedly, having a feel of the holds, and if it's too hard, just letting go. That way, the whole process is over really quickly. You fall more like how you would if you were actually climbing, and it just feels better to me. What I found was when I'm hanging above the bolt, and I'm like, Kim, I'm gonna fall, you got me, you got me. That like 30 seconds where I'm doing that is so gut-wrenching and so frightening that it like haunted me and put me back a while, I thought. Whereas just sitting on the boat, having a rest, and then going for a really hard move and not making it felt just so much better. All right, so I've had a feel of the holds, I've dogged my way up once, so I'm gonna go for like my first red point attempt. Okay, try cast. I'm off. I hate falling. This is my second red point attempt, so nerves are slightly decreased, but still not feeling absolutely fantastic. Mike, red point 3, sink 1. You often hear really bold, world-class trad climbers adopt a no-fall mindset when they get into a position above their protection where falling is absolutely not an option. They will deck out and they'll get hurt. And that's, I feel like, how I used to sport climb. I used to climb with an absolutely cannot fall mindset. But we're not trad climbing, we're sport climbing. And telling myself the opposite, a can fall mindset. I can fall at any point on this route because I've clipped the first three bolts. I'm not going to hit my bailer or the ground. I can fall anywhere here and I'm going to be okay. That's what gets me through it. It's not a no fall mindset, it's a can fall mindset. I can fall anywhere I want. As long as I don't skip clips, I'm going to be fine here. So this video isn't about sending, it's about falling, but I just couldn't leave this climb unsent. So we've come back the next day. Probably could have done with the day in between, but I really want to send this route. So this is my first red point attempt of day 2. Keep going. Come on.
That's me, James.
Psyched. Yeah, got it. First time on the second day, which is always what you need. Like, you just need a bit of sleep. Psyched. I love a 2-day project, man.
Yeah.
2-day project's the way to go.
You always come in strong on the second day.
Absolutely psyched.
The last major change I've made in my sport climbing to do with fear is to just not give myself too hard a time. Not get too overwhelmed, too scared. I found that pushing yourself out of your comfort zone definitely is helpful. That's how you make progress. But going beyond that, increasing the psychological stress so it's like a harrowing experience, I found has not been helpful. It's been very small incremental exposure to climbing above your last clip that has helped me. Not jumping in the deep end. Jumping in the deep end with this sort of thing put me backwards. It did not help me. So I found that just when you feel the stress building up too much and it's just too much to handle, gritting your teeth and getting through it has not been helpful for me. It's I've not made progress that way. What I've found is better is to back off, take a minute, and if some days it's just not happening, some days it's not happening. It's okay. You're here to have fun, remember. You're not here to be terrified. So yeah, just give yourself a break. Sometimes you're just too scared. It's okay. By no means is this fear of falling issue fixed for me. It's still a problem, but it's dramatically improved over what it was this time last year. So I'd be interested to hear if you guys also have problems with this, if you've come up with a different way of dealing with it, if you disagree with what I've said, if people think that fall practice is the way forward, then let me know. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Next week we will have another video, so please tune in. I'll see you then. Peace.